Welcome to Unconscious Bias and its impact in the workplace. It couldn't be a more appropriate time to address unconscious bias at a time when we are experiencing significant demographic disruptions. Polarization and divisiveness is happening. We're living in a global society. There's political discord, and there's different ways of working, thinking, and believing. With this much difference, it's inevitable that misunderstandings will occur and conflicts will arise and biases will inform the way that we interact with each other and how we make decisions. Actually, everybody has bias. It's a part of the human makeup. We need bias to protect us from danger. Biologically, we are hardwired to prefer people who look like us, sound like us, and share our interests. But when left unchecked, biases can have a negative impact in every interaction. So with the vast amount of diversity that makes up our global workforce, including more women, more people of color, LGBTQ, veterans, introverts and extroverts, immigrants, people from different abilities, thinking styles, and personalities, and also 5 generations working in the workplace all at the same time. That's just to name a few of them. With all of that difference, the level of complexity and potential conflicts that can arise from unconscious bias is sure to increase. Every day, decisions are made in the workplace, whether it's sourcing and selection, whether it's development, whether it's pay, promotions, terminations, assigning projects, constructing teams, and creating business strategy. And whether we recognize it or not, unconscious bias enters into every one of those decisions. That's what we're going to talk about today in this course. Hi, I'm Dr. Shirley Davis, President and CEO of SDS Global Enterprises, which is a global strategic development solutions firm that works with organizations all over the world to build more inclusive and high-performing workplace cultures where all talent can thrive. We specialize in workforce and organizational transformation, in diversity and inclusion, and in leadership effectiveness. I'm a 30-year human resources professional. I'm a successful business executive, and I've worked in senior and executive leadership roles for several Fortune 100 companies, as well as for the world's largest HR association. And I've held various leadership roles such as head of HR, head of training, head of our performance management, working in employee relations, leading recruiting, and being a chief diversity and inclusion officer for many of those organizations. So in this course, now that you know who I am, I'm going to guide you through several real-world examples of how biases can play out in the workplace and how it impacts individual and organizational behavior. I'm going to outline their impacts on selection and hiring decisions, on collaboration and team effectiveness, and also on productivity. And I'm also going to discuss them in the context of microaggressions, microadvantages, and disadvantages. So I'm going to then conclude this session by providing you some strategies for how you can and how you should address bias in the workplace. So a couple of key topics and objectives that I'm going to cover. I'm going to explore the various ways that the unconscious mind impacts our interactions with others. And this discussion is going to be examined using a couple of things like theory and research and experiential exercises. I'm even going to allow you to do a lot of self-reflection. I'm also going to use some references to new neural and cognitive science research. Yeah, I'm going to talk about some brain science. And then I'm going to explore how the human mind makes decisions that impact not only diversity, but virtually every other human judgment. And then we're going to do some activities that you'll be able to engage in personally on how unconscious bias manifests in decision making. I've already hit on some of them: hiring, onboarding, employee evaluation, performance management, team development and collaboration, and trust building. At the end of the day, at the end of this module, you'll be able to explore your own patterns of perception to identify the particular lenses through which we see the world. Strategies for how to address biases in the workplace is how I'm going to underpin this. So my goal in this course is for you to walk away with some discovery of your own biases, their impact in the workplace and in everyday interactions, but also that you acquire practical tips and tools and some strategies for how you can minimize the negative impacts of your biases and how you can contribute to building a more accepting, welcoming, and inclusive workplace culture. I appreciate you taking this course on unconscious bias and its impact in the workplace, and I appreciate you investing in your development. There's a lot to cover, so let's get started.